Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Green, and these is another one of my lessons. This is another one of my lessons in Algebra 1. We're looking at Unit 4, and we're looking at the first lesson in Unit 4, and it deals with, uh, well, it deals with addition again, addition and subtraction. So we're going to develop a very important concept in algebra, okay? And that's making certain we're doing the calculations correctly. Okay? So we're going to create a mathematical situation that you can use to model and solve problems. But what we're looking at now are equations. Everything up till now has been uh, expressions, and we've been going slowly, making certain you understand the concept of everything that's going on. But I want to make certain you understand how we're going to do equations. The main thing that you need to understand that when we're solving equations, we use the opposite operation. So if two things are being added, we're going to subtract to solve it. If two things are being multiplied, we're going to divide or multiply by the reciprocal, either one, same thing, to solve it. Knowing this will help you not only find the right equation, so the first step should be to understand what the problem is to find the right equation. So if I find the right equation, that's a big deal, big part of it. But if I get out of that, then we're going to go into solving the problem once I've got the equation. So let's talk about math classes just for a second. I mean, every year I always get asked this, and I wanted to make certain I did address it. Um, what I just said is the basis of why the high school math classes are sequenced like they are. You take algebra because what you're doing first in algebra is you're building a set of tools that you're going to use. And see, we're taking it slow, and I'm making certain that you understand these tools as we go along. The next course you take is geometry because you're going to take these tools and you're going to start learning equations or geometric ways of relating things together. So you're going to apply these tools to these equations to find solutions. And then algebra 2 comes after geometry because what are you going to do? You're going to learn more equations and you're going to learn how to use those tools with other types of equations other than just geometric ones. Okay? And then you'll move on to pre-cal. And it'll be applying those tools in different ways, more in exotic different ways to solve problems. Okay? This is the sequence that you're going to go through. Learning the tools here, applying the tools, applying the tools, and applying the tools. And along the way, you might learn a few other things as well. So I wanted to make certain you understood why do we take Algebra 1 and then Geometry. Don't I need to take Algebra 2 right after it? No. You need to know how to apply these tools to geometric shapes and to other equations and be able to understand them before you go into Algebra 2 where you learn a few more tools and you get into more difficult equations. Okay? So, one of the things that you're going to hear me talk about is transforming an equation. What are we talking about when we're talking about transforming an equation? Transforming an equation is, you've seen me do it a few times already, it's doing the opposite operation to both sides of an equation. Think of it this way. If you've got a teeter-totter and you've got a big bag of candy and then 3 pieces of candy on one side, and on the other side you've got 5 pieces of candy. Notice how this teeter-totter is balanced. It's not high on one side or high on the other side. What we want to do to figure out how many are in this big bag is do the opposite operation. Now, I've got 3 pieces of candy added over here. I'm going to take away 3 pieces of candy or subtract. That means over here, I want to do the same thing. I want to take away 3 pieces of candy. Take away. So how many candy is in the bag? Well, once I take these away, I'm left with 2 pieces of candy. In this bag, there must be 2 pieces of candy. By doing this, I kept the teeter-totter balanced. That's what the whole concept of transformation is all about. If this is my original equation, x plus 13 equals 27, I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides of the equation. See how I've got it right here, subtracting 13? And over here, 27 minus 13, I've got that minus 13 on both sides of this equal sign. And when I do this over here, 13 minus 13, well, that's the identity property. It gives me 0. And x plus 0 gives me x. Over here, equal 27 minus 13 is 14. That means that x equals 14, and we've solved it. Notice how this equal sign is on the center line in this balance here, right? So if you take nothing else from this lesson, the concept of keeping things balanced, whatever is done to one side of an equation, you need to do to the other side as well. That is the important part of this lesson. Make certain you take that away from here because you want to keep them balanced at all times. So, I want to talk about some of those absolute value problems that you're going to run into. Okay? Now, we've looked at absolute value before, so we know it's the distance from the origin. We know that the answer inside of what could be inside of the absolute value could either be a positive or a negative. That means there's two possible solutions here. There's a trick to this one. Like I said before, I'm going to teach you some tools. Here's the trick. Here's the tool you need to use. First thing you do is you take the original problem and you look at it. Absolute value of x plus 3 equals negative 7. Never can happen. Why? Because absolute value is a distance. An absolute value can't be a negative number. Never going to happen. Absolutely no solutions to this one whatsoever. But if we look down here at this one, x plus 3 equals 7, positive. This one can happen. This is where we're going to get two solutions. We're going to say, first of all, x plus 3 equals 7. That's the first problem. You can see I just wrote it down the same way. And then I'm going to say x plus 3 equals negative 7. Those are the two possible solutions. Two problems, two separate answers. If I subtract 3 from this side and subtract 3 from this side, I'm going to get x equals 4. If I subtract 3 from this side and subtract 3 from this side, negative 7 minus 3 is going to give me a negative 10. And I'm going to wind up with x is equal to 4 and x is equal to negative 10. Two solutions to this problem. Okay? I can't stress that enough. A lot of times in absolute value problems, people only give me one answer. There are two in every case. Okay? So, absolute value problems, there's really two problems. So, there's two answers. Cool? Okay. I'm sure you probably have some questions going to come up. Okay? I can't address everything in one of these short little lessons here. So, if you've got questions, feel free. Put them together. Come to tutoring and ask me about them so that I can answer them for you. Come to Class Connect and say, I don't understand that. Maybe we can work it out in Class Connect. Okay? I look forward to seeing you next time.